The milk we don't chop for Cameroon, for Africa, it been at the peak milk, the sweetened milk, it been at the one way na powder milk. The problem with that milk then being, I say most of them, I know you talk say all, but most of them, like the peak milk or the condensed milk, it get plenty sugar. So you're trying to consume proteins, but you are messing it all up by the sugar content. Good morning, this is Auntie Z. Good morning, welcome to Shape Up African TV. I'm your chief cheerleader and this is week 2 of the Shape Up African weight loss program, my journey to health. Today is day 8 of the program and I'm really excited. I've set new goals for myself. Just to give you an update, last week I walked 27.35 kilometers in total. Freaking good. And yeah, I'm so excited. I started by walking 3 kilometers and then I found myself walking 4. One day I walked 6 kilometers because I missed my way. So it was a good thing. And actually the Frenchman says quelque chose de malheur est bon. So it means that sometimes when bad things happen, it's for your good, because now I know that I can actually walk 6 kilometers. That's the reason why this week I've set my goal for 6 kilometers a day from today till Saturday, God willing. So I'm super excited. If you haven't joined the program yet, search the Shape Up African family, that is the SUPA family, on Facebook and join. And yeah, I mean, if I didn't start last week, I wouldn't have done 27 kilometers. So I'm really looking forward to what I'm going to achieve this week. Okay, this is our walk and talk nutrition program. So I'm not here to tell you about my life. I'm walking. This is my journey, the journey of a fat health coach. But it's also a means for me to share some nutritional knowledge with you that it may be, or that may be of value to you. So we have been talking the whole week about food. That was last week. We started with the macronutrients, talked about carbohydrates, and on Saturday I introduced proteins, one of the macronutrients as well. And just a quick recap, if you haven't watched the video, that I want to advise to watch the video because there's a lot of information there. But a quick recap, we said that proteins are building blocks of the body. We looked at them and said that, oh, they are like a chain of essential amino acids or amino acids bound together by chemical bonds. Okay, so if you haven't watched that video, click the link above. Watch the video, watch all the other videos. You're going to really benefit from it. I encourage you, and also share, subscribe if you haven't done so already. Today we are moving on in the protein palaver. We want to look at the sources of proteins. Who you will get proteins from? Okay, where are you going to get proteins? Which foods are great sources of proteins? Which have some proteins and which foods are not really so good? So when it comes to proteins, consuming protein na queen, but consuming a variety of proteins na king. Meaning say there are a lot of foods where they contain proteins, good sources of proteins, but they do not have the different amino acids. Remember, we talked about amino acids, essential ones and non-essential ones. Essential ones being the ones that the body cannot produce by themselves, and so we have to make sure that we are consuming those foods that have essential amino acids. If we don't consume those foods, wahala go dey for our body. Watch the previous video. Also, we have the non-essential amino acids, and we said that the non-essential amino acids, now amino acids the way the body fit produce them on its own, so we do not really need to pay too much attention on those. And then we also said that they are the conditional essential amino acids, way means say the one way the body go produce and conditionally. It means say if you dey inside stress, your body may not produce some of these essential amino acids. So it is so important that when you are looking for foods, or when you are trying to consume foods or up your protein intake as you eat, you want to make sure that you are taking in proteins from a variety of sources, so that you make sure that you cover most, if not all, of the different amino acids, because the body needs different amino acids, essential like non-essential amino acids, to do its work properly. Okay, remember, protein is na oga bodybuilder. He has a lot of things that he does in the body. So proteins are going to build your body, build your muscles, and they are going to keep you full, and they are going to keep you full, so that you are not so hungry after 1 minute that you eat. So it's important. Okay, so today I want to share with you the different sources of proteins, and especially highlighting the African sources. For which kind chop you go fit chop away you do for Africa, where you go know say, they want get this, they want get protein, they want get high percentage of protein. Which kind of chop? Let us first of all look at the proteins from dairy sources. Dairy food, I'm sure you have heard about dairy food. When you hear dairy, it be simple. It means say foods that are from, or foods that contain milk from mammals. You wise. So dairy products are foods that are from milk from mammals, or made from milk from mammals. When I even think about it, like cow milk, hey, when I think about it, I just see myself like, it don't say na under cow bobby a day. I don't like to think about drinking milk like that, like, because whenever I think about drinking milk, it's as if na bobby for cow man the soccer. So puke, I know that's gross, but don't think about it that way. Think about it in this way, that these dairy products have really high sources of proteins. Hello. Good morning. I'm doing my walk and talk nutrition programs. You know, I'm a nutritionist.
Workout paused.
Yeah, so I encourage people to live healthy, eat African food, and so on. So I walk and then I talk about nutrition. Yes. All right, have a nice day. Yes. That was a friend of mine, the husband. Anyways, so what was I saying? I'm saying that
workout resumed.
Yes, I know. Let us look at the proteins that you're going to get from dairy sources. That is, from foods that are from or are made of milk from mammals, like cow, goat, sheep, and stuff like that. Dairy products are the one way if you consume, and milk, of course, as we don't just talk. Milk is very important. Milk contains vitamin C, it contains vitamin D, where now macronutrient, the way it go give you strong and healthy teeth and bone. So minus the fact that they have these proteins, they are also having these micronutrients that are great for you. So that's a good way to increase your milk. Now, most of the time, let's talk about milk for a minute. The milk we run the chop for Cameroon, for Africa, it been at the peak milk, the sweetened milk, it been at the one way na powder milk. The problem with that milk, then being I say most of them, I know you talk say all, but most of them, like the peak milk or the condensed milk, get plenty sugar. So you are trying to consume proteins, but you are messing it all up by the sugar content that is there.
1 kilometer completed. Duration 12 minutes 39
yes. So
seconds.
When you are trying to consume your milk, make
Average
sure that your milk is not bombarded with sugar.
Per kilometer.
Make sure that your milk will not be
Estimated
bombarded with
total
other
time,
things that
1 hour,
will not
15
be
minutes,
fine.
54
Like
seconds.
you go to consume, you don't say you consume gari, but you don't take sansan, you pack inside. So the milk that you are consuming should be pure, natural milk, which is not which does not have added sugars and all of those stuff. You know, make sure that you're checking out your labels to find out what is in the milk that you are consuming. Okay, some of you will not reach your Yubo land, on a life for chop cheese. Cheese is also a dairy product, and it can come from many different mammals. So it's also a very great product, high in proteins, great for you, and other micronutrients, vitamin D, and all of that. So cheese is good for those of you in Africa, Cameroon, where when I eat cheese, don't even bother yourself to go looking for cheese helter skelter because say you won't get protein. There are so many other foods from which you can get your proteins from. Okay, so you have your milk. Then another very cheap source is eggs. Eggs are very cheap. it's difficult to mess up with eggs, to mess up with the nutrient that are found in eggs. Do you understand? Because it is inside shell, right? So doctors even recommend that an egg a day will do you well. So if you don't have milk, you don't have cheese, eggs are a great way to go. Okay, that's also a great way to get your proteins. All right, now let us look at another group of foods that have proteins as well, or that are high in proteins as well. You have the beef, poultry, game. You know, beef, poultry, and game. When I talk about beef, I'm talking about meat. I talk about mbap, I talk about cow. Yes, and so you know, meat, all of the meats that you know, the red meat and stuff like that. When I talk about poultry, I mean the white meat. That means chicken, turkey, and all of that. You know, when I talk about game, I talk about chuku beef. I talk about all this monkey, all of this meat, the way they find them for forest. When they walk around for house compound. Now game be that. Yes, so another good source of protein is from beef, poultry, and game. Here you want to be careful not to overconsume red meat, because it has been linked with certain types of cancers, you know. So that is why I mentioned in the beginning, my thing is here, I mentioned in the beginning that it is very necessary for you to make sure that you are consuming your protein from different food groups and different sources, so that you are mixing and matching everything and you're not consuming a lot of one particular group. You know that too much of a thing, na disease. So after the beef, poultry, and game, you have sources of protein, which are also the seafood. When I talk about seafood, I mean everything where they inside water. Yeah, you get fish, all kinds of fish. The white fishes are leaner, the red fishes are having a little bit more fat. For example, salmon has a little bit more fat, but the fat that is in salmon, now good fat, now heart healthy fat, contains omega 3 and 6 fatty acids, which are good for your heart. You get octopus, so all of those things, mussels. For when I want to day Africa, when I chop, we want to ask and say seafood, I be now which one? You get crayfish, yes, you get catfish, you get sea bream, you get mackerel, you get mackerel, all of that one. Even some snail, them water snails, where they day inside water, now still seafood be that. And from those foods, you go get plenty protein. And we encourage you now for chop plenty, chop fish. Yes, if you have to choose over meat and fish, I will advise you to choose fish more over meat. Okay, so you get seafood. Then another source of proteins, we have talked about the beef, poultry, game, we have talked about seafood. Another source of protein, you have the beans, the peas, the legumes. Okay, beans, peas, and legumes. Beans, peas, and legumes. Now which one? Again, now you sabi kidney beans. Now beans will take make pop-off. Will stew them, will take make pop-off. Will make a dalu concha with them. Red kidney beans, black beans, all the other beans. You get the peas, like the black-eyed peas, aka cocky beans. The one where you take make cocky, take make moi moi. Nine be that. Also great source of protein. You have the lentils. Also, you have the chickpeas, all of that, and the legumes, all of that today for inside. Next source you have are the nuts. You'll be surprised to know that your nuts, common granite, it gets a great amount of proteins as well. Also, tiger nuts, aka the sexual booster. I didn't say it loud. The tiger nut, great nut, has some proteins. Cashew nut, it get protein. Which one you get? You get our own for Cameroon. Get some granite where they call it, say Bambara granite. That Bambara granite, it is for far north. It's very good. Has proteins as well. So you see that your sources of proteins are not only the dairy products, that is eggs, cheese, and everything, but you also have proteins from beans, from legumes, from peas, from granules, you know, stuff like that. And then also you can get some proteins also from wild rice. It is true that the amount of proteins in wild rice is not so elevated as you would see in other food groups like the beefs and so on, but it also has a good source. It's a good source of proteins plus other nutrients. After wild rice, you get seeds. Let's talk about the seeds for a minute. Seeds like egusi, good source of proteins. You understand what I mean? When you take your egusi, you make egusi soup. good. Also, you get ogbono seed. Ogbono seed is also a good source of protein. Many of us, we don't know that. So don't let people tell you that, oh, you must chop or you won't chop to be able to be healthy. It's a lie. Our food is very healthy, very healthy, very, very healthy and natural. Yes, if you know some other seeds that you can name and other protein sources, please comment below. Let me know let me know if you know something I don't know, because Auntie Z cannot know everything. I want to believe that there are some nutritionists among us. It is true that even in nutrition school, they don't really teach us about African foods. That is the reason why I'm trying as best as I can to do my doctorate and research more into nutrition of African foods. Very, very essential. They teach you all of these things, but they will only teach you Oyibo food. Nobody is teaching about African food, and that is the reason why I'm doing my doctor's degree, because my aim is to see that we teach African nutrition to our Africans, because we need to know exactly what we are eating. Knowledge is power, knowledge is wealth, knowledge is health. If you know what you have, you will be able to make healthier choices. Yeah, so we have talked about seeds. Other seeds that also you both have, you have the chia seeds, which are also a great source of protein. We have our pumpkin seeds and stuff like that. Next, another group of foods, you have the oatmeal, steel cut oats that you use to make pancake, or you do smoothies or muesli in the morning. It's also a great source of protein. So if you have that, you can consume that as well. I think the last group, let us look at the vegetables. Yes, vegetables, fruits and vegetables. You will be surprised to know that some vegetables are also a good source of protein. Not great, but good source of proteins. We have all our green leafy vegetables we have in Africa there. You get amaranth greens, aka green in Cameroon. You have eru leaves. You have bitter leaf. You have water leaf. You have spinach. All those dark leafy greens that you know in Cameroon, in Africa, Nigeria, all of them have some amount of protein, and that is really, really good. You already know that generally greens are good for the body, don't you? You already know. You have collard greens here in Wyman country. Make I cross it. Wyman country, you have the collard greens. You have the collard greens and all of that. You have cauliflower, you have broccoli. Now Wyman won't be that. If you do Wyman country, you know the see ogu, chop collard greens. If you do Wyman country, you know the see bitter leaf, you chop broccoli. You understand? All of those will still give you some good amount of protein that your body really desperately needs. Okay. Other sources. You have other sources like miscellaneous sources of proteins as well. Do you understand? Miscellaneous. I call them Mr. Linus. Where you can get protein, you have protein powders. So, protein powders are powders that have been made from very, very rich protein sources. And Africa is so blessed with two of the most powerful protein powders or protein fruits or leaf plants that you can think of. Number one, baobab. Baobab, you know the baobab tree. This plant, the protein content for day na bobe 24 grams per 100 grams. Imagine, that means 1/4 of that plant is protein. What are we looking for? To be eating Wyman meat, to be eating this. So good. And most nowadays, this baobab tree has been processed into powder that you can purchase organically. You understand? And when you purchase this, you can use it and have a teaspoon or have 1 teaspoon into your oats in the morning, just to boost and upgrade those oats up a notch. Especially if you are physically active and you want to build muscle, that's excellent for you. No go far, no search far. Don't be searching around you. When you have baobab, you are good. Another one of those proteins is the moringa tree, which is also a plant. They get it from the moringa leaf. If you get moringa, massa, your own done better. You done well. Baobab and moringa, the same. 24 grams of protein per 100 grams. It means 1/4 of those plants are proteins. There's nothing you need to do again. Africa is too blessed. God do it well. So, my friends, these are the main sources of proteins that I wanted to share with you today. And I hope that you found value in this post. Tomorrow, we are going to continue. What are we going to talk about tomorrow? Let me see. I have a small my PowerPoints here. Tomorrow, we are going to talk about what happens when you eat proteins. So, when you bite into that slice of chicken, or you don't lick your finger after you don't chop roasted fish, waiting to happen for your body. We're going to look at that tomorrow, and how much of these proteins do we need for good health, for weight loss, and to live a healthy lifestyle. Auntie Z right here. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure you hit the subscribe button if you haven't done so already. And if you like what I'm doing, like this, share it. Somebody needs to hear this, because knowledge is power, knowledge is health, knowledge is wealth. And I'm going to see you guys tomorrow by the grace of God. Keep crushing that fat, keep smashing that fat. And yeah, see you in the next video. Bye.